What's happening, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Weird Wednesday. Weird Wednesday. There. How's it going? What's up, Jamie?
It's going.
It's going.
It's going.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants. What's new, right?
Yeah, is there any other way?
Yeah, exactly. I was running around earlier doing stuff. Left my phone at home, so didn't get any text. Didn't text anybody. Didn't do anything. Ran in, sat down, turned it on, and here we are. So, hey, at least I made it on time, right?
Yeah, when it was like 8:47, I was like, yeah, 8:47. I kept checking. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm not doing what I did last week, like waiting, and like you had the link waiting the whole time, and I'm just like, messing with my makeup in the mirror. You had the link waiting. I'm like, uh-oh. Well, I haven't heard anything, so worst comes to worst, we'll just hit live and figure it out.
There you go. Yeah, Tammy and me were just talking about the case that is all over the news with the missing girl that was found, not missing anymore. Now her boyfriend or whatever you want to call him is missing. Does everybody think in the chat room? Do you think he killed her? Do you think he's still alive? I have lots of questions. I found an article on the internet that was showing some weird stuff in his room, weird posters and stuff, like of dark figures with a hammer, like hitting people. And Jamie and me were talking about the books he was supposedly reading about serial killers and stuff. Hey, it kind of adds up. 2 + 2 sometimes equals psychopath.
But what was the book about?
I don't really recall. Let's see. One of the ones. Let's see. Where the heck did it go?
I believe about someone who became famous through their social media, going across country, killing people, becoming a serial killer.
Yeah. There also says a man named Sam Bass told investigators he spotted a man toting a backpack about 6:17 a.m. Monday in the town of Baker, Florida, about 500 miles away from Laundrie's home in Northport. And there's a picture. Kind of looks like the dude. It's a guy in the woods with a backpack, but you can't really tell if it's really him or not. I don't know.
And because there's weird stuff and maybe some weird searches, that doesn't say anything. Doesn't make you a killer. Yeah. The part that makes me concerned, and coming from abuse, I know how it starts out slow, and then things can happen in a heat of passion. Sometimes they're not meaning to do it. It gets more and more intense. It was the police camera, the body cam, where, she needed help. And then she says, things are okay. Well, that's what always happens when you're with the person. It's easier to say things are okay than deal with the wrath afterwards, and then all of a sudden she's gone. And then he comes back without her and immediately doesn't talk to anybody. So it's the behavior that makes me not feel right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that whole body cam footage. I mean, he seemed like, pretty chill and, just
sociopaths are.
Yeah. And she's like in the cop car, like, can't stop crying and everything. But, witnesses say they saw him hitting her.
Mm-hmm.
But she supposedly didn't have a mark on her.
Doesn't have.
Yeah, but he's the one that's all like scratched and cut up and everything. So
that's the thing. Bruises won't show up right away, and those are her defense. If you're getting held back, those little bruises won't show up till the next day. Yeah. Her defense scratch as well. My ex could be so calm after doing the most monstrous things, destroying the house, and then be so calm. out there in front of the police, I'd be in hysterics like, see, she's crazy. See, she can't even control herself. She's, this and that. But luckily, I had neighbors say, yo, we just saw a dude open the front door, put the hose in the house, and turn the water full blast. Like, this guy isn't as, cool as he's trying to make it out.
I mean, the feeling I got was, they're like jammed up in this van, and I think they're both a little crazy, maybe, because she seemed a little weird too.
Yeah.
But I think, I think
a little kind of, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, but I think they just got at each other's,
And being in a road trip, I mean, people fight when you are in a little road trip with like your significant other, you fight.
Yeah.
And if you already have like a history of, kind of little darker fighting or a little angrier, and you might not be in the best place, being stuck in a van across country is really going to push it.
The one thing though, like that body cam footage when the cops separated them when they were in Utah, and they gave her the keys to the van, told her to go, and they took him to a motel. It makes me wonder why, if she was like really scared of him, why she just didn't say fuck it and just bail,
And I would like to say, coming from that situation, there's so many times you would have looked at me and said this, like, what the F is wrong with you? Why did you go? Why did you? And I had my reasons, because it's like it was a financial thing, or it was like I always had a reason. My animals were there. I didn't want to leave my animals behind. And I always said, like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this ready. It happened that night. Boom.
Yeah.
I had to just get out and forget my plans.
I've dealt with friends that, they've been in like really bad situations, and then they keep going back, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
And now that's why I advocate, like, if you can get out and it's like that now, get the frick out.
Yeah.
Just go, leave it behind and go.
Yeah. I mean, if she would have just left that afternoon, she might not be in the state she's in now. And I don't know. I don't know if the guy killed her, but it could have been an accident, where shit just got out of control, and
that's kind of how I feel.
And then he's like, oh shit, I killed my girlfriend. I got to go dump her somewhere. And the whole thing though, like coming home, like leaving Utah and driving all the way back to Florida, and then not saying anything and not wanting to talk. I mean, if it was your girlfriend or your boyfriend or something and they were missing, it seems like you would want to participate in trying to find them and clear your name of any wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like a big fireworks of red flag going up right there.
And one of the reasons I don't think the whole wanting to go across country be serial killer is a thing, and I feel it was a heat of the moment. Something is because nobody else was dead. They didn't find people shot and killed at convenience stores along the way or random this and that. It was her, the person that he was with. And I thought at first, I didn't know if the body where they had found her was already searched and then she was there. I got confused because I didn't know if she got moved. But then I started thinking, well, I wonder if, once they found her, like he just like killed himself because he knew it was a matter of time. Then I started thinking, if he was quiet from the beginning, his parents had to have asked him shit. Like, I'm more and more convinced that they might be helping cover it up.
Yeah.
And if they have information, they should say something. They're not going to get her, that family's not going to get their daughter back.
No.
They need to do the right thing if they know something.
Yeah, it's a weird one for sure. I don't know. A lot of people think he killed himself. Maybe went out in the woods and just offed himself. I don't know.
Yeah, or hung himself.
Yeah, I've heard all kinds of stuff, but just like looking at his at his person, hearing him talk and seeing this character and stuff, he may just have like hauled ass somewhere, But I think somebody's helping him, because you can't just go out in the woods and walk to Mexico or walk, to Canada or where. I mean, somebody, if that's the case, somebody's helping him.
Exactly. See, my first instinct was he messed up, didn't mean to kill her, like people do, and then actually, kills. It takes a few minutes and actually square out, and she died. And he's like, oh no, I didn't mean to actually squeeze that hard and, kill her, take her out like that. And then knowing that it's a matter of time, he might go in the woods and kill himself. But something just makes me think, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's still gonna, if they do find him dead, we may never know what happened.
Well, that's what I hope he didn't, because he needs an answer. If he did it, he needs an answer for it, and he needs to sit his ass behind bars and not take the easy way out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. So it's a weird one for sure. Well, speaking of weird ones, here's a weird one. Like this dude's missing, and I've been still following up on the missing people. Reading these David Pilates books. Still get another little video, but here's a strange one as well. It's not really a missing person. It's a found person, if that makes any sense. This woman, who speaks perfect English, has been found on a rock in the sea off the Croatian island, but is unable to say who she is or how she got there. So, who is this woman, and how did she end up on the rocks? Police in Croatia are investigating the case of a mystery woman who is unable to recall anything about her life. What is that called? I forget the word for it.
Amnesia?
Yeah, there you go. Maybe it's that. I don't know.
That's what I was just about to think, like amnesia, and you forget who you are.
Yeah. But it gets a little weirder, because according to...
Or someone that was like kidnapped at birth and then they get amnesia.
According to the reports, the woman, who is believed to be in her 60s, was discovered sitting on the rocks of Croaties Creek Island back on September 12th. Sporting cuts on her face, the woman was able to speak perfect English, but did not seem to be aware of what had happened to her, or even who she was, or where she came from. She was taken to a local hospital for treatment. However, despite their best efforts, authorities have been unable to determine her identity, and are now appealing to the public for assistance. According to the local residents, the mystery is deepened further still by the fact that she was discovered on the rocks because the area itself is dangerous and very inaccessible. In addition to, given her physical condition, there's no way she swam to the island. So it seems that she was either dumped there by someone, or possibly had washed up after falling into the ocean. Climbed down to them. You couldn't, given her condition, they don't think she could have swam to them. And the condition of the ocean, it's like somebody she just fell out of the sky and landed there. Maybe she was abducted. I don't know. Weird. It's a weird one. Goes back to, like I was talking about last week, when people are missing and then they're found in weird places that nobody knows how they get there.
Exactly. Well, if you are going to... Oh dear, wait. Okay, if you've ever wondered what Grimace is, McDonald's has finally come forward with the answer. And no, he's not a giant butt plug.
He looks like one.
It's been going around the internet that Grimace is a giant purple butt plug.
Mm-hmm.
But a manager of a McDonald's franchise in Canada has revealed the story behind Grimace, the purple pal of longtime mascot Ronald McDonald, and it's left a lot of people very confused. Brian Bates, who has worked for the chain for 10 years, casually dropped it into an interview with them over the weekend. He is an enormous taste bud. But a taste bud nonetheless, Bates told the network in an unofficial explanation, adding the character was meant to show that the food tastes good. McDonald's has been unusually tight-lipped about the purple creature's origins over the years. The closest it had come to providing an explanation was a few variations of this tweet, which it has sent out from time to time to its in response to inquisitive customers. Great question. Grimace Lore says he is the embodiment of a milkshake or a taste bud. What do you think? Grimace, who was actually a villain early on, doesn't resemble a milkshake, but he does kind of look like he's been inspired by images of taste buds and the papilli, or however you say that. I think there's actually a picture of him next to the taste buds and the butt plug.
Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now.
So you tell me, taste bud or butt plug? And if it was a taste bud, it's upside down. I'm sorry. And I get maybe they want the little head on top like a candy corn, but that does not look like a taste bud.
A Grimace to me looks like, oh, come on, man. Come on. I got to fix this somehow. This is ridiculous. Grimace kind of looks like a butt plug to me. Grimace. And if he's actually that big, you'd probably be grimacing if you were using the butt plug.
And that's why they said they got the name Grimace.
Yep.
But they say it's...
He's a taste bud, huh? Okay.
Do you have the taste bud picture?
Where is it? Where is it? Jesus, criminies. Too many windows going here. Yeah, there it is. Oh my God. What is happening?
Murphy's Law.
Okay, here's the taste bud picture. It looks a lot more like a butt plug to me than the taste bud.
That's what I'm saying. So, audience, poll: Grimace, butt plug, or taste bud?
Yep. Oh, Grimace. Butt plug. Taste bud. Butt plug. Taste bud.
Freedom says.
Depends on how you use the butt plug. It could be butt plug then taste bud. I don't know. Weirder things. Poor Grimace.
And why was he a villain? I thought the villain was the Hamburglar.
He was a sneaky butt plug. Yeah, the villain was the Hamburglar, so I thought. You know, McDonald's hamburgers used to taste, I don't know, they used to taste really good. The last one I had, which has been quite some time, was nothing. I don't know. Like everything, is it just like when you're younger, everything tastes better? And then when you get older, things just taste like crap? Or
maybe because all the smoking, all the stuff we do that dulls out our taste buds over time.
Yeah.
I think they change stuff like the French fries.
Yeah, I think so too.
So don't put all that money and if trying to figure out why your ice cream makers have been like broken since 1983, put the frickin' recipe back. Put the crap back in the oil.
Yeah.
I want the crap back in the oil.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason it's called junk food.
Yeah.
You know?
I know that I'm going to, taking a chance by eating there.
Kristen says Burger King was the best. Anybody remember Tasty Freeze? That was the bomb for me. They had a fish sandwich that was unbelievable, and their French fries were like really good.
We have a Foster freeze and not a Tasty freeze.
And what was the other one? There was Burger King and like Tasty Freeze, and was there a Burger Queen or something like that?
No, was there? Dairy Queen.
Yeah, there was a Dairy Queen. Well, what's up with the Dairy Queen? Like our Dairy Queen here it's closed now. There's still one open out by I-95, but the Dairy Queens all like just got really ghetto, like really funky and dirty. It's weird.
I think everything's going downhill.
Yeah. We don't have any White Castles here. We got Crystal, which...
Oh, like the ice cream?
The little hamburgers.
Oh.
Yeah, our burger chef that's here in town is like, some days it's open, some days it's not. When they can't get anybody to work half the time, so like the manager just says screw it and he just closes. He'll be the only one there working. Can't really blame him. Okay, I've lost everything that I was doing. Here we go. Next article. Now this one kind of like, it has nothing to do with the family that disappeared on the trail. Well, they didn't disappear. They were found dead on the trail. There's no disappearing at all. They were just found dead on that trail. And they're still trying to figure out what the hell happened to them. But this one's kind of reminds me of that in a way. Questions linger about Florida boy's death. Mystery odor. Uncle of Lorvins, Julian, says there was no chemicals inside the home. Well, the story goes in West Park, Florida, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office is investigating the death of a 15-year-old Lorvins Julian, who died Wednesday after possibly being exposed to some sort of chemical inside his South Florida home. Hazmat crews spent hours at the property Wednesday, but the incident is perplexing to the teen's uncle, who told WPLG TV there weren't no chemicals inside the home. We don't have no gas, no nothing inside, he said. According to authorities, Lorvin's father took his son Joe to Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital Tuesday after the teen was feeling sick. Doctors checked him out, and he was ultimately released. But sometime in the overnight hours, the teen fell ill again and was vomiting repeatedly. By that time, the boy threw up. When he ate something, he threw up. When he drank something, he threw up. He was rushed back to the hospital, where he died Wednesday morning. Doctors warned deputies of a strange chemical smell coming from the teen. Wednesday evening, it was revealed...
Arsenic?
Yeah, really. Wednesday evening, it was revealed that on Tuesday, Lorvin's mother sought comfort with her next-door neighbor, Andreina Adams. I don't know how to say her first name. With her being here, she said she didn't know what could have happened. If there could have been a chemical inside the house, Adams told Local 10 News, I didn't smell anything. And I leave the windows open all the time. I didn't smell anything on her. She didn't smell like chemicals or anything. A deputy who later went inside the teen's home had to be hospitalized after he began to have trouble breathing. Authorities said a firefighter also suffered a second-degree burn from some kind of chemical. After various readings and air samples, investigators determined the home was safe and nothing hazardous could be found. The victim's uncle said he's concerned, but he has no hesitations about going back into his home without definitive answers. Yeah, I have to because that's my house, he said. I've been here since 2009. I don't have any chemicals inside, no gas, no nothing. So this kid dies. Another guy has trouble breathing, and a firefighter suffered second-degree burns from some kind of chemicals, but yet they can't find anything in this Florida home. And the uncle's like, I ain't got nowhere else to go, so I'm just going back in the house. I don't know, man. That's weird. Could it be aliens? I'm not saying it's aliens, but could it be aliens? I don't know. Same thing with those people. They don't know what killed them on the trail. Whatever it was that killed them must have killed them fairly quickly because they were, the dad, the kid, and the dog were sitting there, and the wife was like, 30, 90 feet away or whatever, face down on the trail. So she didn't get very far. And the same with this kid. Something killed him. They don't know what. I don't know. Could it be something coming out of the ground? Something coming out of the air? Did somebody poison them? I got a lot of questions and no answers. Damn it. All these questions and no answers.
I was muted. The firemen have like the meters that show all sorts of gases and, like it'd have to be something that's not like some undetectable chemical,
said they spent
being
hours
tested, maybe.
Testing the house, testing the air. They couldn't find anything wrong or out of place,
But a chemical burn, that's weird. I mean, that's concern. That is really weird. And the arsenic, I forgot. Like if somebody has arsenic poisoning, like over time, it's pretty undetectable, but it's kind of like rotten raisins. And you smell it usually at time of autopsy, like they cut them open, and then you smell the raisins, and they're like, "Oh, that's arsenic." So you don't just smell the. I was mistaken when I said that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. People dying on a trail, people dying in a house, and nothing can be found. I mean, where those people died on that trail, they've tested the water, they've tested the air, they've tested everything, and they can't find a damn thing out of place or wrong. And other people were there before them, and other people were there after them, and they were fine. And yeah, maybe this kid drank something, maybe he did something, but how does that explain
everybody else?
Yeah, how does that explain the paramedic that had trouble breathing and the firefighter that got a chemical burn? So I don't know. It's some damn aliens, man. They're shooting radon guns at them. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird world we live in.
It's a mad, mad world. Well, here's a gal. Be careful who you come across on Tinder. Might end up in a contract. Girlfriend draws up a 17-page contract for a Tinder flame after dating for a whopping 2 weeks. She's basically a modern-day Rachel Green, and they're definitely not on a break. Ann Wright drafted a 17-page relationship contract after dating her now boyfriend for only 2 weeks. While it's no 18, they're just talking about the friends crap. The contract name came with 4 main objectives: honesty, communication, awareness of partners' needs, and clarity and alignment in their intentions. I made this idea as a joke, and then he said, no, seriously, we can do that and talk about it. The couple met last October on Tinder after Wright left a toxic relationship, and she was determined to make this relationship with Head, a law student, work out. At the time I had braces in college, I was very embarrassed at Wright. It was also pandemic time. But I got to the point where I was like, screw it. I'm going on dates with guys and I don't care anymore. I matched with almost anybody on Tinder and would tell my matches, I'm going on a walk with my dog at 2 p.m. today. Are you free? It was a fluke that I met him. I was going on 3 Tinder dates a week to go out there and meet people. Thankfully, when Wright met Head, they instantly clicked. He was Wright Head. He was like, I want us to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Wright said, in order to be ready for that, we have to lay some serious ground rules. Within the 17-page document, Wright outlined all of her expectations for their relationship, which asked Head for no silent treatment, to pay for date nights, and not to isolate her from her loved ones. We printed out terms and conditions. God, isn't this romantic? I went over to his place. We sat on either end of the bed and read them out loud, she recalls. Felt like the biggest issue I had in my last relationship, yada, yada. This chick is very interesting.
Sounds like a lot of work.
We treat our relationship almost like a business interaction. So, anyways, it works for them. If you started dating somebody on Tinder at all, 2 weeks, 2 months, would you sign a relationship contract?
I would run, Forrest, run. I don't know. The 2 words in that whole article you read were braces and head. Keep sticking in my mind for some reason. I don't know. I'm just weird like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
If someone hands me that's like a lot of thinking, like, bro, I don't even know about next week. Like,
yeah,
you want me to do what, when?
Exactly.
Talk.
No
more letting things be organic anymore.
Yeah, people make things way too damn complicated nowadays.
Now, what happens if you fail the contract? Like, what are the penalties? How do you break out of this? Do you need a lawyer? Is it like abiding?
It's like, the Big Bang Theory, like Sheldon's roommate contract, you sat in the wrong seat and according to the contract.
Roommate contract.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, homebrewed meth. Oh.
Homebrewed meth. Hey,
John read an article. Somebody said maybe homebrewed meth.
I think it was. That's the thing, is they searched. They had hazmat teams in that house looking for stuff, and they couldn't find anything. Maybe they had it hidden on the walls. I don't know. Weird.
I was going to ask if they wrote dogs, and I'm glad they didn't, though, because I don't want the dogs to drop. They have little lungs.
Well, this is sort of a Florida man story.
Okay.
Nobody was asking about it. There's a lot of dumbasses here in Florida. There's dumbasses everywhere, but I gotta admit, Florida does have its more than its fair share of
even your boats.
YouTubers. Even what?
Even your boats. The police had to chase a boat.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot, especially down in South Florida, because that's where all the money is, and they got the high dollar like speedboats, and there's always boats,
runaway boats.
Yeah, cops chasing boats, and yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, South Florida is a whole crazy thing. But this one, let me see. It done lost the picture again. yeah, this one, like I say, Florida has its fair share of dumbasses, and here's one. Mama said there'd be days like this, and well, this guy got his fair share. This has happened here in St. Augustine. This was at the Jacksonville Zoo when a man got injured by a jaguar when he climbed over the barrier and then taunted the animal.
Mm-mm.
That sounds like, that sounds like a smart thing to do. People got no damn common sense anymore. Jacksonville, Florida. A man was injured by a jaguar at the Florida Zoo after climbing over a barrier and moving too close to the animal's enclosures, officials said. The attack occurred Wednesday on the range of the jaguar display at the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. The man was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries, zoo officials said. The man climbed over a waist-high safety barrier that puts about 4 feet of empty space between visitors and the jaguar's exhibit fence. Zoo spokeswoman Kaylee Rillard said the man began taunting the jaguar and then reached his hand through the fence and tried to hit it. The 12-year-old big cat named Harry swiped at the man and injured him good. Rillard said that the feline was acting as part of his normal behavior for a wild animal and didn't expect anything to happen to him. Officials confirmed that Harry was involved in a fight that left another jaguar dead earlier this year. So it seems like Harry was pissed off anyways, And then here comes this knucklehead climbing the fence, sticking his arm through the cage and trying to swat at him. So the cat swatted back. And guess what? The cat has big-ass claws on the end of his hand. They said they don't plan to pursue criminal charges against the injured man, whose name wasn't released. Wow.
Damn.
But yeah, that, we got an alligator farm here in St. Augustine. And if you remember a while back last year, I did a story on the guy that broke into the alligator farm in the middle of the night and then crawled into the alligator pit with the alligators and got his ass toe up and then managed to get out of there. And they found him like in his underwear, like a block down the road in somebody's backyard or something. It's like, I've had my fair share of like intoxicated or whatever you want to call it times. Never, ever have I ever thought it would be a good idea to crawl into an alligator pit. I don't know, man. Maybe they're not making the drugs like they used to. Maybe they're something else involved.
I don't even know if I can blame it on drugs.
Yeah, it's not. It's just
like people's heads so stuck in their ass that they've lost, like the air has cut off to their brain.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny. So this chick has a threesome with her boyfriend. Did you read it?
I skimmed through this one.
Did you see who it ended up being?
No, I didn't get.
Oh, this is like, you can't even write this. Like, this has to be real. So this was the Daily Mirror. Camellia L, like, a lot of people, she's 21. She wanted to organize a kinky surprise for her man. But after he was blindfolded and handcuffed to the bed, an unexpected guest made the most of the situation. A gobsmacked model has revealed how her boyfriend's ex tricked them into having a threesome and got hot and heavy with the blindfolded lad who didn't realize until they had finished. Camellia, 21, wanted to spice things up with her partner, Alan. They don't want to give his name, I guess. So decided, maybe they're not dating anymore. So decided to bring a third person into the bedroom for a saucy surprise. However, after tracking a willing participant down on Tinder, she began to feel something was off during their steamy session until the shocking revelation when her man took off the blindfold. The devastated woman from Florida, was left in floods of tears when she found out the seemingly random woman was actually her boyfriend's ex. Now, how is this her? Okay, hold on. Was actually her boyfriend's ex. And things got even worse when the ex started messaging Alan the next day. I was in too I was too in shock to do anything. I felt disgusted and humiliated, said Camellia. I couldn't believe she managed to manipulate us like that. She put the Tinder ad out.
Yeah.
I mean, this girl didn't go trick him. I mean, she could have said something. But I think this girl's thing just bit her in the ass, like literally.
Yeah.
The couple had been dating for a year, and after discussing the idea of a threesome, Camellia set about turning it into reality. I wanted to be the cool girlfriend, so I decided I was just going to surprise him, she said. The model, who shares saucy snaps on her Instagram with her 55,000 followers, made a profile on Tinder explaining the situation. Oh, and what kind of girl they were looking for. Camellia said, okay. Camellia said, I included photos of both of us on there. And after about a week, I matched with a girl called Sammy, who said she was interested. We started chatting, and I was surprised by how forward she was. She told me she wanted to have fun as soon as possible. There was something a little off with her, and the way she messaged me on Tinder, she was so over familiar. The 21-year-old initially had reservations after speaking to Sammy on the phone, but she pushed any doubts to the back of her head. Of course, right?
Oh, yeah.
She said we planned to meet the following night at my home, so I gave Sammy the address and told her what time to arrive. I wanted it to be a surprise, so I told my boyfriend to lie down on the bed, and I blindfolded him and handcuffed him to the bed. When Sammy arrived, I let her know my boundaries. One of them, which was she wasn't allowed to make out with my boyfriend, and we made our way out to the bedroom. Sammy took off her clothes and had on the most extravagant set of lingerie I'd ever seen, and she looked so excited. That pissed me off because I could tell she was trying super hard, and I just got a really bad feeling from that. Camellia says that while the three were getting down to it, Sammy completely ignored her and put all of her attention on her boyfriend. She said it's like an unspoken rule to never ignore one person in a threesome, and she completely ignored me the whole time. Also, one of my rules was she wouldn't kiss my boyfriend, and of course she made out with him multiple times. Well, couldn't he not kiss back? Well, I don't know. After the trio had finished, Camelia's boyfriend asked to have the blindfold removed. As she did, Sammy ran into the bathroom. She said when she came back, my boyfriend looked at like he'd seen a ghost, and she started laughing. He looked at me and said, "Why the F did you bring my ex-girlfriend?" I looked at him to her, to him to her, and my brain could literally not process what was happening. Before I could really think, Sammy grabbed her clothes and ran out the door. Camellia couldn't stop crying and was stunned the next day when Sammy had the audacity to try and text Alan. Sounds like she did.
Yeah.
She said, I was so mad. There was nothing I could do because I was the one that set it up. It had been my idea. I had never been one for asking my boyfriend about his exes, so I'd never seen a photo of her or even knew her name. My boyfriend was distraught that he had upset me and so angry with her, but in the end, it made us closer. We even laugh about this now. However, next time, if we ever decide to do another threesome, I'm definitely going to run the third person by my boyfriend, just in case. And names have been changed to protect identities, even though this, I think, they're giving her Instagram following and all that out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought that was a silly little story.
Yeah, like as Ariana says, next time it'll be her ex. Whoa. Wow. Yeah, this threesomes always, sound like a good idea, and they never seem to really work out right.
Yeah, you have to be a special kind of couple for that stuff to like work. And even like couples that I know that I've seen do things like that on the regular, issues come up. Even the most secure people,
Yep.
issues, there's always some sort of an issue. It's just,
Exactly.
unless you're in a polygamous, like a polyamor, whatever type of relationship where you're fine with, everybody dating, like, two or three people dating each other at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's the type of person you are. I don't recommend people in a monogamous relationship to add another one into the mix.
Yeah, people say, "Oh, I'm not the jealous kind," and then when it's happening, it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this bitch."
Or when it's over.
Yeah. Well, my story's not as randy as that one, but let's see. The sure screen. I've been hanging out at the Samalabim.
Solomon
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. More crazy ass Florida people. Just for you, Whoopi. The Florida woman, this time, a Chicago woman, falsely claimed a bomb was on the plane at a South Florida airport after missing her flight. She was pissed. She missed her flight and then called in a bomb report. 46-year-old woman was arrested Monday night at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport and charged with falsely reporting a bomb, explosive or weapon of mass destruction, according to Broward Sheriff's Office. Airline employees told responding deputies that the woman had stated that a bomb was in her checked-in luggage that was aboard the plane, officials said. She made the claim after workers told her that her party had arrived too late to board the plane, detectives said. The plane was already taxiing out to the runway, but had not taken off when it was rerouted. Passengers were evacuated and the plane was searched. No explosives were found. She was just pissed. And there again, I guess she's technically not a Florida woman. She's a Chicago woman, which they're crazy as hell in Chicago. I'd rather live in Florida any day. But
Chi-town.
Maybe she came to Florida and just got a dose of the crazy. And
drink that water.
Drink the water. Got a little alligator musk, some rattlesnake musk and some flocka whips, something. And made
some
a bad
flocka what?
Some flocka mist or wafts of flocka or something.
What's that?
That crazy street drug.
Oh, flocka. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, let's make a bad decision. Let's get pissed off and then because you missed the plane and then call and tell them that you got a bomb in your luggage and it's on the plane. How'd that work out for her? I bet she didn't get back to Chicago on time.
I bet she never gets to ride a plane again.
Exactly. One bad decision after another. I don't know. You gotta think, people. Think. You do that kind of shit, you are going to get in trouble. And it's not like they didn't know who she was. It's not like, she just mysteriously called from a payphone and said, there's a bomb on the plane and then hung up. She's like just bold out there. You know who I am? And there's a bomb in my suitcase and it's on the plane and I don't give a damn because I'm a crazy Chicago woman. Well,
something that's kind of cool. And at first I was looking at it 3 times because I'm like, amphibious. I kept thinking amphibian like a frog, okay? I'm like, amphibious whale fossil. Amphibious whale fossil. I'm like, holy shit, a whale that walked on land? Crazy. Yes, an amphibious whale fossil was discovered in Egypt. Ripley's Believe It or Not. And then they give some pictures of the fossils and a picture of kind of the drawing, what they think it looked like with its little feet. Ripley's is constantly on the hunt to find the strangest, believe it or not, stories or bions. I don't know what it means. To share with our fellow fans of the bizarre. And this, okay, wait. So they call it this week Whales That Walked on Land. A team of paleontologists from Egypt's university revealed their discovery of an ancient whale species this week, a massive four-legged beast that could travel between land and sea, measuring about 10 feet long and weighing around 1,300 pounds. Doesn't seem like that heavy. How much is like a great white whale? I mean,
Geez, they're like
a great white whale, a
great white whale,
great white shark, a great white shark.
Yeah, they can get up there. Whales are like enormous.
I mean, 1,300 pounds doesn't seem that big. The newly discovered amphibian was likely a top predator during its heyday. 43, well, yeah, like an alligator, 43 million years ago, earning its name. I'm not going to try to say it. After the ancient canine headed Egyptian god of death, Phimositis anubis. But look at that. Look how it looks though, with its feet and its tail and its like beak. It has like an alligator beak.
Yeah.
That's its beak there. Did you put up the little cartoon of it?
No, I don't.
Did I send it to you?
I don't think I have that one.
You should. It should be in the little bulk that those were in. But
Go the other way here.
wait a second. I didn't want you to open your chat though by accident because I sent something. So, if you can't find it, it's like a little. Can you see little feet?
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Little feet, little beak.
Here we go.
The fossil initially sprouted up in the Fayum Depression area of the Western Desert during a 2008 expedition led by the Egyptian Environmental Affairs Agency. See, it is like an owl. I didn't even notice like that beak-like face at first.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like an alligator.
Yeah.
Or crocodile. So is an alligator called an amphibian?
I mean, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, they go in water. You know, they don't breathe water; they breathe air. But I mean, they can stay underwater for a long time.
Like a frog is an amphibian.
Yeah.
And they breathe air, and they breathe underwater a little bit. I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
It seems, yeah. I know. If we were like alive back in those times, it would have been a scary world.
Oh my god!
All these damn big, huge ass, crazy animals.
Like dragonflies the size of like helicopters.
Yeah.
So they did a whole study on it, and it's the first time an Egyptian team has made such a discovery. And then they talk about the world's first intact fossil and all that, but
I know,
yeah.
like I love like fossil hunting and hunting for shark's teeth here and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
it would be epic to find something like this. You know,
When I lived in the country, I was digging. I thought I found dinosaur bone. I knew I was digging. The rib cage was so big. It was in a spot where, like, a mammoth or something they had said before. But it was a horse. It took me all day. There was like a dirt slide, and it had killed a horse down this ravine.
yeah.
So I like long time ago. But yeah, I spent all day digging out a horse.
Wow. Yeah, the like hunting for shark's teeth here, you find a lot of horse teeth and bone and stuff like that. It's like, damn, man, a lot of horses back in the day. Like, and it's weird because you can find rib bones and stuff, and there's big, like gnarly scrape bones, like
Oh,
what killed them, because apparently it was big enough to bite and like scrape the bone.
like tool marks into
Yeah,
the.
yeah. Crazy animals back in those days.
And we're still finding stuff. We're still finding things.
Yep.
Do you have another one?
Nope. I got a video,
right.
but yeah, if you want to do the zodiac.
Okay.
I think I have these in order.
Wait, I had one more article thing. Basically a female spider, and it's just another like nerd thing that I thought was cool. A female spider got caught in some amber, 99 million year old amber. Modern day female spiders material instinct, the eight-legged mothers. Okay, so spiders protect their babies. The quartet of rare amber specimens that were mined shows that spiders had maternal instincts from their very beginning, because of the way that the spiders were found in this piece of amber. And each piece of the amber tells the story of how these ancient spiders cared for their young. In one piece, a female spider was astonishingly preserved, clutching an egg sac filled with spiderling embryos, nearly ready to hatch. The female holding onto an egg sac with tiny spiderlings inside. That's the exact position you'd find the female spiders guarding their eggs. So it really is a typical female spider behavior caught in an instant in this fossilization process. The remaining 3 amber specimens showed already hatched spiderlings near fragments of their mother's legs. Researchers counted a total of 24, 26, and 34 hatched babies in each. The amber also had pieces of wood wrapped with silk strands, suggesting that these pieces were preserved remnants of a spider nest. Together, the findings indicate that the spider babies stayed nearby and were guarded by their mothers. As their nest flooded with resin, the mothers chose to stay and protect the spiderlings. So, again, it's like another fossil thing. And it's sad because, yeah, I do still feel sad for the spiders, especially since, a mommy taking care of babies, but another amazing find.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
what's that?
What was that?
Yeah, I mean, like spiders fascinate me. Like I was in the pet shop the other day, and we've had spiders, we've had tarantulas and scorpions, and we've kept all kinds of stuff. Like especially when I was doing a lot of reptile stuff, and I've got a picture. It's on my refrigerator right now of me holding a huge ass tarantula. I used to do all the reptile shows, and I'm just like, throw a snake in my hands, like no problem, Yeah, they're big ones, small ones, whatever. They
Yeah.
they don't really freak me out. Spiders freak me the hell out, man. I don't know. But every show I would go to, you know, my friend's booth down there, he had like all these crazy ass tarantulas and everything, and I'm like, I'm gonna hold one this time. You know, I wanted to face my fears and get that one, you know, taken care of, and I'd chicken out every time. And we were at a show, and I'm like, I'm gonna hold one this time. And then I chickened out, and Darcy drugged my ass down there and made me do it. And I did it, but I may have peed my pants a little bit. I don't know. Did I
just
say
a little bit?
Yeah, just a little dribble. It was interesting. I mean, it was cool. They fascinate me. But man, I just like, yeah, wow, man.
It's because they're so like quiet
Yeah,
and stealth like,
yeah.
and they can get in places, and you hear about like people, you know, having babies hatching out of their tear ducts and stuff. I don't know, just like
Exactly.
it's the creep factor, like, because not creepy gross, like, because they are creepy, like creepy.
Yeah.
They creep around. You're sleeping. How many spiders are we supposed to swallow a year?
Yeah, exactly.
Sleeping with our mouth open. All right.
I was in the
So
pet shop the other day, and I was looking at a tarantula, and I was going, "Wow, man, he's really cool. He's really. Maybe I could get the hell out of here."
where I lived in the country, oh my gosh, this time of year, huh? And like my ex's family had a mansion. We lived in a really nice modular, a few acres over, and there's the ranch and all that, and they have this huge, big old mansion, and up the sides of it would be these tarantulas like this big, crawling up it, like in the swimming pool. You'd be walking, and all of a sudden they stick their butt up at you like little footballs to punt.
Ah.
Creepy, these little things everywhere. No, I didn't want to go picking them up. They were going to give me extra credit for holding a tarantula in 7th grade. I needed the extra credit so bad. I looked at that spider. I couldn't do. I didn't hold the spider. I don't want to tell you what happened to the spider because it's horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get extra credit, and that spider didn't see another day.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
That was it. You know, like when I was holding this spider, I mean, it was like a $300 tarantula.
I feel horrible for it though.
You know, like it started out in my hands, you know, and then it starts crawling up my arm, and it got up here, you know, and I'm like, okay, get him off, you know, and everybody's laughing, you know, because here's Rob, he's starting to have a panic attack because there's a friggin' tarantula crawling up on my
with a puddle under your leg.
Yeah, and I'm like, get him off, you know, and I was this close to going into, you know, smash mode. And I didn't want to hurt the damn thing, and I certainly didn't want to pay for it. But I'm like, yeah, not the time to be laughing. Get this damn thing off me. I've held it for a couple of minutes, and I'm done.
And I've done the scorpions, held the scorpions a bunch of times. Sometimes they still had their little stingers and all that.
Yeah.
So last night, okay, the 21st, we had the Hunter harvest moon, full harvest moon. A lot of you might have noticed that your psychic abilities may have been a little extra lately, leading to today, the fall equinox. So happy Mabon to those who celebrate. What is the autumn equinox? In case you don't know. During the autumn equinox, the sun rises due east and sets due west, which is happening today. The word equinox comes from Latin, meaning equal and night. On the equinox, day and night are roughly equal in length. I wish I didn't put this in white writing. The word equinox comes from Latin. Okay, this was a copy over. During the equinox, the sun crosses what we call the celestial equator. I totally screwed this one up. An imaginary extension of Earth's equator line into space. The equinox occurs precisely when the sun's center passes through this line, when the sun crosses the equator from north to south. This marks the autumn equinox when it crosses from south to north. After the autumn equinox, days become shorter than nights as the sun continues to rise later and nightfall arrives earlier. This ends with the December solace when days start to grow longer once again. So when it's fall for us, it's like spring for the southern hemisphere. It's like the northern hemisphere. We have Mabon, and then southern right now is the other word I can't think of. So the harvest moon and the equinox. One of our favorite pieces of trivia surrounding the autumn equinox involves its relationship with the full moon. Curiously, the full moon that occurs nearest to the autumn equinox is always called the harvest moon. Why is that? Surprise, surprise, it has to do with farming. Around the fall equinox, the full moon rises around sunset for several nights in a row, which traditionally provided farmers with just enough extra light for them to finish their harvests before killing frosts of fall set in. Normally, the moon rises about an hour later each night, but around the time of the fall equinox, the angle of the moon's orbit and the tilt of the Earth line up just right and cause the moon to rise only about 20 to 30 minutes later each night for several nights in a row. What to expect with this equinox? A major energy shift is coming and a vortex is opening. It's important to set new limitations. Put down your ideas and start executing them. Perfect time for action is on the 22nd, which is today. Things will be working out even better than ever. September 22nd will be the first day of fall in the Northern Hemisphere and spring for anybody on the other half of Earth. It will be bringing rebirth, a brand new beginning, and shift in the direction of our dreams and wishes. A greater balance between light and dark, which represents our divine feminine and masculine energy being in greater alignment, bringing greater personal power and enhanced life force energy, confidence, greater love, divine connections, blessings, and fulfillment. And this is what happens when I do things so fast. I have so many misspellings. And then just some things, I just threw some memes together and I have them, I didn't have time to do my own. And I put it on my own page, like in a slideshow. But there's like little ways to help celebrate crystals for the equinox, Mabon altar items, autumn magic. So different little ideas and ways that you can celebrate, like diffuse, burn autumn scents, create your own autumn wreath, honor deities. And then they give you some little magic tips. Cinnamon can be used for energy, passion, and prosperity. One of the crystals for equinox is tiger's eye, releases held fears as you move forward. And then things that you can have on your altar, like pumpkins and wild berries, acorns, which tonight on my walk, I have to go. Like this, I picked up last fall equinox. I went and got all my acorns from last year. So tonight when I go on my walk, I will get some new acorns for my altar.
Cool. That's something I haven't seen around here lately is acorns.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pine trees where I live. That would probably explain it. But no, even like like out at my old house, there's oak trees and all kinds of stuff out there. And years ago, there used to be tons and tons, just thousands of acorns. And I don't know, it seems like they're not near as many now for some reason.
I know the exact spot to go. I've got acorns galore. I wanted.
I say the moon's been looking pretty cool the last couple of nights.
Yeah. I wanted to put the acorn wood looks pretty cool. And if you shine it up, last year I was going to do these little Maybon kind of necklaces that I didn't do. When you stain them, they kind of have a little wood grain pattern to them. The little hats. So this year I might be making some little lucky with leather strap just to hang it on whatever type thing. But
yeah,
little Maybon fall gifts.
Cool. I've noticed a lot more Halloween decorations that are out right now are kind of shifting that way a little bit, a lot more, earthy stuff than, just the typical, skeletons and tombstones and, stuff like that. I was in Target today and I noticed a bunch of cool kind of stuff. More kind of earthy looking stuff.
That's a great idea, Azariana. She says I should send some to you. When I go out tonight, I will pick some up for you. And it'll be under the moonlight of they'll be energized with the moonlight of the harvest moon.
I was just listening
from California.
Harvest Moon today from Neil Young.
Do what?
I was listening to Harvest Moon today from Neil Young.
I was listening to that last night.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I got a little video. It's another case out of David Pilati's missing 411 Eastern United States. And like I say, this book is cram full, all of his books. It's amazing. And he's he goes way back. This particular person is from 1968. It's a case from 1968. And it's one of those, the video is going to explain it, but it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. And it kind of, reminds me of that article I read where the girl was found on the rocks and didn't know how she got there. And, let me just play the video and then we can talk about it afterwards. Okay. Here's another case of missing persons out of David Pilatis, missing 411 Eastern United States. There's a lot of people that are missing nowadays. And you think, well, the world's getting crazier. Things happen more. But this book is full of missing cases from the 40s, 50s, 60s. This particular one happens to be from 1968. Karen Cooney, missing 7/8/1968, Corey, Pennsylvania. The age of her disappearance was 15 years. The Cooney family had lived in a rural setting adjacent to a small county highway approximately 20 miles west of the Allegheny National Forest. On the morning of July 8, 1968, Karen was asked by her mother to go to the rear yard and hang some clean clothes. The girl happily did the chore and was in the backyard for a few minutes when her mother and her brother heard her scream. The two family members ran to the backyard and found that Karen had vanished. The Cooney family quickly searched the yard and then called the sheriff and the state highway patrol. Within hours of the first call for assistance, bloodhounds and scores of searchers were working the farm area looking for Karen. The local sheriff told several news teams that he felt Karen had been kidnapped and that the FBI had been requested to assist. Pennsylvania State Police was the lead agency for the investigation, and they used their helicopters, canines, horses, and many, many volunteers. 27 hours after Karen disappeared, a state police helicopter was patrolling the sky 3 miles from the Cooney residence when they saw Karen walking along the banks of the Leisure Lake. The helicopter called for ground teams to converge in the area, and Karen was picked up. The girl was described as dazed when she was met by searchers. Karen was taken to the hospital for observation and later questioned about her ordeal by her parents. In a July 10, 1968 article in the Titusville Herald, Miss Cooney explains that her daughter told her. Miss Cooney said her daughter was still hazy about what happened, but she remembered being chased from the house by a big man with a knife. He chased her for a long way through the woods until she said she fell asleep. What? The case summary. Remember, the police were absolutely adamant at the start of this investigation that Karen had been kidnapped. Maybe she was. It does seem unusual that someone would be so bold as to enter her backyard and take the woman near her own home. The description that Karen used was big man. He must have been very big if he was going to force a 15-year-old girl into his custody in the middle of the woods in broad daylight. It's interesting that she stated she was chased until she fell asleep and then was later found as being dazed. This would seem to be consistent condition for many missing people when they are located. The disappearance of Karen Cooney matches the circumstances of many young children in this book. The difference in this case is that the girl can partially explain what happened. This case is not the only case in which a strange-looking man are described in the woods associated with the disappearance. Eloise Lindsley describes being chased for many days in Table Rock State Park, the Great Smoky Mountains chapter, by men she cannot describe or won't, and witness in the Dennis Martin disappearance describes a sickening scream and seeing a stealthy-looking man in the woods. It's an odd coincidence that both Eloise Lindsay and Karen Coney describe being chased by men, and they don't or won't supply descriptions. Why? Karen Cooney went missing just 45 miles west of where Marjorie West disappeared and was never found. Karen's residence is just 40 miles of west of where Harold Mott disappeared. So, people disappear, or they're kidnapped, or abducted, or whatever you want to call it, by a big man with a knife. I mean, that's not much of a description. I mean, I guess it's better than anything, but why don't these people that have disappeared, and thank God they've been found alive, why can't they describe, or won't they describe, the person that's abducted or kidnapped or whatever you want to call it? Did he have brown hair? Was he white, black, Indian, American, Chinese, pink, purple, alien? I mean, something. Was he wearing boots? Was he wearing a raincoat? Anything. And most of the cases of these people that have been, taken, abducted, I can't say what happened to them because I don't really know. But all of the cases, the victim cannot describe the person or thing that has taken them. So very strange. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I want to ask, what's the age range for one?
Well, this girl was 15 years old.
Okay. One thing that I learned in my training classes and stuff is when people either have a gun or a weapon pointed at them, that's why witness descriptions sometimes aren't that great because they're fully focused on either the barrel of the gun or the knife, that they're not seeing anything else besides that weapon. That's where their brain is going.
Yeah.
And younger people might be more fixated on just seeing that. And if the person does have, like, maybe they're disguising their face with some sort of mesh or putting a piece of nylon, you know, it'd be harder to see features. So what they're seeing is the silhouette, and they're seeing that knife.
Yeah.
And so are people being found dead too, or all of them surviving? Is this just someone scaring the crap out of people?
Now, some of them have never been found.
Okay.
And others have been found alive. But yeah, some of them have never been found. But
He's actually taking them.
The ones that are alive, they're like, you know, what happened, and they don't know.
I'm wondering also if perhaps he's giving them like a shot of GHB or something, so that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So that they don't remember all the way too, because then you get that blurry, that date rape drug, you know, if you've ever done GHB, you know how everything's just like blurry, you hear sounds, and you might focus on, again, the one thing. The knife is like if you talk, I'm gonna cut, if you scream, you know, you're focused on that knife.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing, like watching David Plata's videos, you know, the people that are found, he emphasizes GHB a lot.
For real?
How they should test for that, and a lot of them don't.
And it's hard to test for it.
Yeah, it is. And you know,
they do. In fact, they only just came out with a GHB test, I think, like within 10, 15 years, maybe 20.
Yeah.
But you have to know to test for it, and I can't remember if it has to be in the tissue or how they get it, but there was no test for it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it was the perfect date rape drug too, because by the time like people would find out they were even raped, it had already worn off, and then there was no trace.
Yep. And then there's the whole other aspect of it. That's why I put in the pictures of, you know, Bigfoot and stuff. I mean, could this big man with a knife or a weapon or of some sort or something, could it be like a Bigfoot or something? Like, I mean, you know, there's
with like a machete to get through the brush
or something, you know, some sort of, I mean, obviously Bigfoot's pretty damn smart to be able to be as stealthy as they are. So I'm sure they could figure out how to make a weapon of some sort, you know, whether it's out of flint or a log or whatever, you know. I mean, it could be a club or something, who knows.
And you know, when people go through the jungle and stuff, they kind of like a sickle or scythe or whatever, you know, to like so they get through.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, it sounds crazy, but I mean, it's a possibility, you know.
When you don't know, everything's a possibility.
Yeah. You know, I just like reading through this book. There's just tons of cases of, you know, people have disappeared and never been found. And then there's people that, again, have been found, you know, a day later, a week later, a month later. You know, some of them, like one I was reading, the girl was out in the woods for 17 days. Well, I don't say in the woods. She was missing for 17 days. Nobody knows where she was at. She was found, like, you know, healthy, you know, I mean, kind of beat up, scratched up and stuff, but otherwise,
but not all dehydrated and starving.
Yeah. And I read another one where a little kid was with a dog, you know, playing with his dog. The dog was a police trained shepherd, you know, full on police dog. And the kid was missing, disappeared out of the yard. I forget how many days the kid was gone. They didn't find the kid, but I don't know, it was like a week later or something.
The dog came back.
Yeah. But the weird thing about it was it was raining. It had been raining for the last couple of days. You know, the ground was soaked. It was muddy. It was everything. And when the dog showed up, the dog was dry, completely dry. Like,
well, like someone just let it out.
yeah, like somebody just brought it up, dropped it off at the house, and left.
Holy crap!
Like it fell out of the sky. Who knows?
Even though you would think that it would have some sort of wet on it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd been raining for the last several days, like heavy rain, and
the kid was never found, but the dog was returned.
Yeah, and they said, I mean, it was a legit police dog. It was a trained police shepherd, and they said there's no way that dog would have just left the kid.
So was the father of this child an officer, retired, or mother perhaps? How did they obtain this canine?
I don't know. Didn't say that. But this story, I was poking around afterwards. I didn't include it in here, and I couldn't read it. It was on Reddit, and it wasn't wanting to load, but just the highlights of it. Apparently David Plot has researched it more, and there's more to the story. So I'm going to try to dig that up. And it's something to somehow it's connected. And this sounds even crazy, but it's connected to a missing small plane that went missing. I don't know how these two are connected, but that's what I got out of reading the highlights.
Trip out. You definitely have to do a follow-up.
Just bizarre, though. It just, I want to know. I got all these questions about all these missing people cases. It's just like, I mean, it could happen to me. It could happen to you. It could happen to any of us in the chat.
Like I just go out on my walk, hey, Rob, I'll be back in 20.
Yeah, and just gone.
Into the darkness with the weirdos.
Yeah, no trace of,
No, I always send you my Google Maps usually.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, as Ariana says, most dogs would, stay to try to protect the kid. And that's what the parents said. They're like, this dog would have not, if somebody had taken them, the dog wouldn't have left the child.
We had a shepherd. It was, she was a German shepherd type that they use. The first dog my parents had before I was born. And so she was a pup still, like when I was born, and grew up with her. And that dog protected the hell out of me. Like my parents could let me play in the front yard. We lived in a coastal area and everything. The 70s, guys. But the dog would babysit me in the yard. And if I started walking towards the street, Sheba would come out and start circling me and leading and circling me back to the driveway.
Yeah.
Like she knew I wasn't supposed to go in the street. Like that dog could babysit me. I could pour Cheerios on that dog. Like she was the best dog. But that dog, loyal as hell to her, family, and so protective of me.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I go over. I went over to see Sam and Nora earlier today. And they have a dog that's like that. He's like. They were kind of, Sam was worried about him at first, because he's a big dog, and she was a tiny little baby, but she treats him. The dog treats Nora like it's her puppy or something. She's real protective.
The funny thing is, pit bulls were first called nanny dogs, known as nanny dogs. And it shows how people ruin, things. That they're bred to be the way they are. An original pit bull that hasn't been bred to fight and be the way they are would actually be with the kids. Like I talked about my Sheba, kids would actually be drowning, and the pit bulls would jump in and rescue the kids.
Yeah.
So, there are dogs that are really, really good with children.
Yeah. That's what trips me out about this last case is, the dog showed back up, and, I mean, maybe that it got separated from the kid. If somebody took this, Kids.
Oh, what if a kid fell down the hill or something? Like, what if the kid fell down a hill, da da da, and then did the dog have a collar with its address? Because, like, did someone maybe find the dog and think it was just a lost dog and, like, go drop it off at the house? You
I
think they
don't
would
know.
knock on the door, though, and be like, hey, I found your dog?
The weird thing about it, though, was it was pouring rain for
And the
several
dog
days,
was
and the
dry.
dog was completely dry. You know, completely dry, like it had been inside.
Well, that's what I'm wondering if someone, like, dropped it off, like, by its
Yeah.
home.
Weird.
Just another, like, thought.
And there's another case that I was reading that, kind of the same thing happened. And they want, David Pilates brought up the fact that they should have done some sort of x-ray on the dog to see if it had been eaten, because it's gone for a week. If it hadn't been eaten, the dog's going to be hungry. There's not going to be any food in its stomach.
Oh, yeah.
But if they did some kind of x-ray and they're like, oh no, he's got a belly full of dog food, somebody's giving it to him, something's giving it, somebody's feeding
Or
the dog.
the kid. Like, I just seen, a thing the other day where a woman was killed on her kitchen floor and her two little dogs were in there. And unfortunately, the dogs got hungry and had to eat their owner.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that happening. That's what I always tell my dogs. I'm like, hey, if I croak on the floor, don't eat my eyeballs out.
Huh?
That's what I always tell my dogs. Hey, if I croak on the floor, don't eat my eyeballs out.
I know. Like, I always think, you cats, when they, like, surround me as I'm, like, feeding them and all 6 of them come at me.
Yeah.
It's going to be my dead body on the floor. Like, the lady with the sushi.
Yeah.
Only it's going to be you guys.
All the cats be feasting on you.
Taking bites out of my ass.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. Weird things.
So were you wanting to pull up the box and ask some questions, or?
We could. What do we got? Like 20 minutes left or so.
Yeah. And then I see how we're making this start to fit. If we both, like, I was thinking, do like 3 articles and then do like our ITC part with the questions, how we do it. And then try to save 20 minutes at the end. We could still get the card readings in.
Yeah.
So I think we can, with the new way, kind of get it all to fit. Just have to do less articles.
It always takes me forever to find this. And I don't know why.
I don't know why. So, how many of you out there celebrate for fall? Do you do anything special to celebrate the change of the seasons, or even like change little decorations out that you have in the house, like from summer to fall? That's why I love California. We feel every season. I started to slur on that since fall and spring have been kind of weird the last 3 years, but
Yeah.
California gets to feel every season. I love it.
Yeah, here not so much. It's like hot as hell, hot as hell, hot as hell. All of a sudden it's cold.
There's rain.
Yeah. Yeah. Florida doesn't have much seasons.
We're right in the middle too. Like, you want to go to the snow, drive a couple hours. You want to go to the desert, drive a couple hours. You want to drive, to big trees, few hours. You want to go down south, beach, down a few more hours.
Yeah.
Right in the middle. If you're tired of this, tired of that weather, just drive 4 hours.
Yeah, here you can drive 4 hours south and it gets flatter and hotter. Or you can drive 4 hours north and, then you can actually get in the foothills of Georgia and South Carolina. I keep saying I'm going to go to North Carolina and, used to go up there when I was a kid, and all the trees changed, the whole Blue Ridge Parkway thing. It's really, really cool looking. But what I really want to do is come out there where you're at and go see the giant sequoia trees.
I want to take you to the redwoods. I want to take you to the big trees up in the green triangle.
Yeah.
Right above the red triangle is the green triangle.
And here we just have the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. But, as beautiful as California is, all these wonderful things, we have assholes running it and ruining it. Ruining.
Yep.
Couldn't even get Gavin out because people couldn't read the backside of their ballots correctly.
Yeah.
Or not.
All right, spirits. Do you have anything? You got any messages for us this evening? The spirits celebrate the change of the seasons as well. What do the spirits think of like crystals and energy, crystal energy and stuff?
Thank you.
That almost sounded like, thank you, Rob.
Can the spirits tell us anything about
Zach?
Yeah.
Into my playing. Us.
Can the spirits tell us anything about Karen Cooney that we were talking about earlier? Did someone take her back in 1968? Who was the big man with a knife? Was there a big man with a knife?
Fire something 3. Rock something 3.
Marie wants to know if her grandma is here by any chance.
Actor.
Azariana wants to know if her sister might be around that has a message.
Commence.
See you, Amir. You want
Had to check the door.
Can the spirits tell us what or who takes people sometimes that are missing? Is it another human being or is it something else?
Murder?
What was that?
Thought I heard murder.
Yeah. Okay, spirits, here's a current affair. The girl that's in the news right now, all over the place, the girl Gabby that was found, her remains.
They say Gabby right then?
Sounded like it, didn't it?
I'm sorry, guys.
Can the spirits tell us where her boyfriend Brian is?
I don't. Your voice, so
That's weird, right? Right when I started to talk about her, that I swear I heard her name.
I know, and then I blew it. Let's reset the energy. And then try again. And say spirits. Do you have any information about the girl Gabby? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I heard something about moms.
Do you know who hurt Gabby? Do you know who's responsible for hurting her? Do they have the right suspect or person of interest? Is he still alive? Is her boyfriend alive? You try asking some of those, Rob, since it's on your side, maybe.
Is Brian still alive? Yes or no? Yep.
So, and that
Are his parents helping? We ask him that.
Is Brian still hiding in the woods somewhere?
Too hot? Are Brian's parents helping him to hide out?
Right. Person. Okay.
Did Brian kill Gabby?
Acceptance. Setting. Heat.
Was that a tone on your phone?
Yeah.
Camilla, wait. Oh, wait. No, that was the girl with the sex thing. Never mind.
Yeah.
Marie thinks she heard Brian.
Yeah. I'll ask again, and hopefully you can give us a clear answer. Did Brian kill Gabby?
Get rid of it.
Can you just give us a yes or no?
That was my ex-husband's name too, Brian.
Reload. Keep you awake. A little bit. A little.
So are you awake a little bit?
Yeah. Is Brian going to be found?
Nope.
Is he still in Florida?
When it gets to like
Wonder what county he is in.
All right, completely different question. Doesn't have to do with Brian or Gabby. But before we go,
For Wolfie.
yeah, Wolfie wanted to know if his mom is around, if she has a message, if she's doing okay in heaven.
I thought I heard Gab right when you started asking.
Just to freak you out.
Just to freak you out.
Wolfie's listening. Yes. Are you doing okay in heaven? Do you have a special word that you can say to him that only he would understand? It would mean a lot.
Yeah. What? Oh, so.
Us. Home.
Again.
Oh, John was her partner. Did you hear the word John?
Or when you're really not complete. Not if you're awake.
Not complete.
Hey. Wait.
Oh, he did hear John. Has John passed, or is he still?
You.
A little clap.
What?
Is she with John in heaven?
Eat. Listen.
He loves you very much, and he's going to listen back.
You ready? Is that what it said?
Eve.
And then.
Get him.
What?
I'm not gonna.
All right, spirits, we're about to sign off for the evening. Thank you for talking to us. If you have any other messages, try to get them out to us right now.
I feel how much. It's not enough.
Is it? I'm gonna show.
For you.
For you. All right, we're going to turn it off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He said two.
The hangover is turning.
Yeah,
She's-
I swear when we're gonna turn it off, I heard it say no.
I think she said like turning turning something, like turning it off, turning it on.
Yeah.
As you're turning it off. Love you guys too. Thank you guys. This has been a really, really fun show. And we really appreciate all of you that show up every Wednesday to hang out with us for real.
Definitely.
We're working to make a couple little changes and try to include everything into the 2 hours. And we haven't been doing card readings, but we're going to figure it all out. And just want to have lots of fun with you guys every week. So if you have any suggestions or, things too that you'd like to see or whatever, always feel free to email us, text us.
Yep.
All feedback is welcome, and we appreciate all of it. Constructive criticism is always appreciated and welcomed as well.
Yep. Yeah. Wouldn't be a show without you guys in the chat room with us. So, yeah, we got a few things we're trying to plan out to flow a little bit better. I got to figure out why my damn share screen has such a delay on it.
And incorporate, kind of switch it up at least maybe once a month, have a guest or something on right now.
Yeah.
Maybe a special medium friend of ours might be on soon.
Yep.
That's always fun.
Didn't understand nothing on Jason's show. Yeah, that last show, man, that guy was interesting, but man, I had a hard time understanding what he was saying. I would get into a flow and I would understand it, and then I would lose it again. But he was very, very energetic.
Very good energy, very good vibe.
Yeah, he was definitely full of energy. But anyways, yeah, probably see you on Sunday for Paranormal Soup. We'll be back next Wednesday with our own Weird Wednesday. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of the week. Stay safe out there in the crazy ass world we're living in. And we will catch you on the flip side. Good night.